Hey guys, so way back when I started this channel, I made this video, and don't know if you can see there, but it talked about books to read before you kick the bucket. Of course, I was talking about books and some comics that I've read and that I have thoroughly enjoyed, and I always wanted to revisit that video, sort of remake it somehow, but like sort of not do the same thing all over again. And well, yeah, that's what I'm here to do today. Same thing, but with movies. And I don't know, maybe, who knows, I'll make this into a series. Like, I know I sort of did this before, but comics to read before you die, TV shows to read before you die, stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, let's just get into it. All right, so ignore the makeup. The time I'm recording this, St. Patrick's Day is like tomorrow. So yeah, stick with it for now. Movie number 1, Batman Begins. Now, even if you've been living under a rock and you don't know about the Nolan trilogy and you don't know about Batman, I think the title is pretty self-explanatory. Batman Begins. It's how, this Batman's origin story. We all know this, how he came to be, Crime Alley, Thomas and Martha Wayne, Gunshot. How when he grew up, he went to Tibet to train with assassins. Then they wanted him to kill this guy, and he was like, no, I don't kill. That's not what I do. I'm a good guy. He fights them, goes back to Gotham, and just saves Gotham, and he becomes Batman. He becomes the person he knows that he was supposed to be. And my favorite quote from that movie is, "Why do we fall, Master Bruce? So we can pick ourselves back up." Like, see, that's the kind of shit I'd be coming up with my quotes of the day. Alfred stole that from me. I'll have you know. But yeah, I love it. It's a good movie. It has a good message in it. If you haven't watched it for some reason, please go fucking watch it. You'll love it. Now on to the next movie, which is The Hobbit, specifically the first one. I think it's called An Unexpected Journey, and it's about Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit living in the Shire, basically, the countryside of Middle Earth. And, he's just chilling, smoking his pipe in his garden, until one day, this wizard, what? I should not forget his name. Why am I forgetting his name? Gandalf. I'm so sorry. Gandalf comes along and he's like, hey, there's this quest that I need to go on. These dwarves are with me. I need a thief. And he's like, yo, I'm not a thief. And he's like, well, too bad. The world isn't in books and maps. It's out there. You can't, sit here and live comfortably. You have to go out and make something of yourself. And he's hesitant at first. He doesn't want to go out. He turns down the offer and he chills at home. But then he changes his mind. And there's this lovely scene where he runs out of his house with his rucksack and this this scroll. I think it was a contract. Yeah, it was a contract saying, if I die, if this or this happens, that's okay. That Gandalf and the dwarves gave him that earlier. And the other hobbits are just looking at him like he's crazy. Like he's just running excitedly with this big white smile on his face. And they're like, yo, Bilbo, where you going? And he's like, I'm going on an adventure. And they're like, what the fuck? No hobbit's ever done that. Then when he comes back, two movies later, when he comes back, he has this terrific story to tell. And we see this in the first movie in The Lord of the Rings. When he's old and he's telling everyone at his birthday party the amazing adventures he had, the troubles he's faced, the hardships he had to overcome, and the person that it turned him into, and the lessons he's learned. And I think that's a great story. Number 3, Lord of the Rings, specifically the first one, Fellowship of the Ring. I think it's a great movie because the Fellowship of the Ring, a group of guys come together, elf, dwarf. Those two races don't really look eye to eye, but they're able to put their differences aside to save the world. Humans as well. There's this one guy, I forget his name, but he's also in fucking Game of Thrones. He's not perfect. He's pretty flawed. He wants the ring for himself. He thinks he can change the world for the better with it, but he can't, and he's honestly a bit greedy. But in the end, he fights to the death to save the ring from getting into the wrong hands, which is the Orcs and gotta forget his name. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's good to see that he changes and that he's, we're not all perfect. We're not all, like Superman. We don't have perfect ideals. We're not all Jesus Christ. So it's kind of satisfying to see a good guy who's also not that likable, And through all this, Frodo, the main character, through all this, he has the ring, he's being corrupted, he's being chased by orcs, by ring raids. He has to deal with the guy that I was talking about earlier. He has to deal with the responsibility to bearing the ring. He has to deal with everything, basically, and he's worried about his uncle, Bilbo. He doesn't know where he is, and he doesn't let it change him. He doesn't let the ring corrupt him. He doesn't let him become a bad person. Even at the end of the trilogy, he's still a good guy. And that's why I also like the Fellowship of the Ring. That also sends a powerful message. Before Rocky, I mean, come on, we've all seen it. It's an incredible underdog tale about this 30-year-old boxer who works as a loan shark for this mobster in Philadelphia. That's the name of the place, Philadelphia. And no one expects much of him, not even his own trainer. He thinks he's wasted his potential until one day the heavyweight champion of the world, Apollo Creed, offers him a shot at the title. And at first, Rocky is kind of hesitant. But then he realized, okay, this is the shot of a lifetime. I should at least take it, I should at least see where this goes. And he trains, and we get these epic montages. And yeah, I think it's just amazing, because even there's one bit during the end. He's fighting Apollo Creed. He gets knocked down, and the ref, he's counting 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Apollo Creed, thinking he's already won. He's going back to his corner. He's all tired. He's celebrating a bit too early, and he turns around. He sees Rocky slowly rising up, and it's, I think, a powerful message just to show you to never give up no matter what. And even if it's too late, it's not. You can still do it. You can still work hard. You can still get back up. You can still push through, and you can still make it in the end, no matter what. And yeah, I like it, even though I've only ever watched it once, and I've only ever watched the first film, but hopefully one day I'll change. So yeah. Number 5, another Sylvester Stallone film, Rambo. It's about a Vietnam War veteran who's just traveling America. I'm talking about the first film, by the way. I've only watched that. He's just traveling America. First, he goes to see an old friend of his from the army. Turns out he's actually died of cancer because of the Agent Orange that they've spread over in Vietnam. And so yeah, he's pretty depressed. People hate him. People are calling him baby killer and all that stuff. And yeah, that's getting him down. So he's walking through this town, and this sheriff comes up to him, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" This guy thinks he's just some random druggie or whatever. And he's like, "Okay, let me give you a ride." Pretending to be nice. And Rambo knows, okay, this guy's a dick, and he just continues walking. He's not taking no for an answer. He gets into the car eventually, and he's being a bit passive aggressive the entire ride through. And as they get to the other side of town, there's this bridge there. The cop drops him off, still being kind of dickhead, and he drives back, and he sees in the rearview mirror that he's just walking back towards the town, and he's like, "Hey, no." And they arrests him for vagrancy, uncalled for, obviously. And later on, we find out that he's actually a lethal killing machine, and there's this whole big fight scene at the jailhouse where he fights off these police officers, and he escapes, and he's goes up into the forest. It's a great movie, if you haven't watched it. And I think it's a great message to show that you shouldn't pick on anyone. You don't know who they are, and you don't know what kind of day they had. You don't know what kind of life they had. You don't know You don't know what they know. You don't know what they practice. You don't know what they've experienced. They could be a lethal killing machine. They could be the sweetest person ever. They could be just like this teddy bear. They could be like some, I don't know, some dickhead, or they could be some weakling. They could be anyone. Point being, leave them alone unless you know them, and even then, don't be a dickhead, of course. But yeah, that's movie number 5. Movie number 6 is Enter the Dragon. This movie changed action cinema because of Bruce Lee, because of all the fight scenes that he choreographed, because of all the scenes that he wrote. He didn't write the entire thing, but he wrote some scenes himself, and he even picked the name Enter the Dragon because he was born in the year of the dragon, and he wanted to become famous in the West. He was already famous in Hong Kong. I already talked about this. I made a whole video on his life on this channel before. I'll probably link it down below if I remember when I upload it. But anyways, he wanted to call the film Enter the Dragon because that was his sort of reintroduction to the West. He tried it before, it didn't work, but he wanted to reintroduce himself. And he thought, okay, this is my opportunity. This is the name of the film, Enter the Dragon. This is my reawakening. I'm the phoenix rising from the ashes. And it's about the secret agent, Lee, played by Bruce Lee, who enters this martial arts tournament on this remote island somewhere in, I don't know, I'm looking at the map behind me. It's around Hong Kong. Can't remember. I watched the film a long time ago. It's a really great film though. Jesus Christ. And on this island there's this tournament. I don't know if I already said this earlier, but there's this martial arts tournament where this guy, Han, I think his name is. Yeah, it's Han. And he's also like this drug lord, and he's got like this whole trafficking thing going on. He's this big, powerful criminal. And you know, Lee's there to take him down. And honestly, yeah, it's got really great stuff in there. And if it doesn't motivate you, if you go watch it right now, if that shit doesn't motivate you to start whatever kind of martial art, whether it be Kung Fu, Taekwondo, Karate, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever, if that doesn't motivate you to start training, then I don't know what will. Like, it's just an incredible film, and it makes me so happy and so thankful to be a martial artist. And yeah, I fucking love Bruce Lee, you know. At the start of the video I was only gonna do like 6 videos, but fuck that, I'm gonna do 7. I did 7 books earlier. I feel like it's only appropriate. But anyways, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith. Now I know you're thinking the sequels, yeah, they're not that great compared to the original trilogy of Star Wars. They're obviously better movies. I know that. I'm not dumb. But I really, 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 really love Revenge of the Sith because it just has loads of biblical references. Like, for example, the fall of Satan. As, you know, Christian, I can definitely appreciate that. I think it sends a good message of, you know, not worrying and not wanting too much control. Because, you know, Anakin, he's so anxious about Padme dying that he goes to the dark side thinking he can get some sort of power that he can't really get before, which doesn't really work out that way, and she still dies in the end. So, obviously, if he had stayed on the light side of the Force, on the good side, none of that wouldn't have happened. If he just emptied his mind, if he, like, just let go of all his inhibitions, like, and if he listened to Master Yoda, if he just, like, took a chill pill, basically, there would have been no Empire, there would have been no Darth Vader, there would have been no Emperor, he would have raised Luke and Leia, would have been a happily ever after. But of course that didn't happen. So learn from Anakin's mistake and stay on the light side of the Force. And that's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please hit the little bell icon and the like if you enjoyed it. And I'll be back with another one soon. But until then, think limitless. Mwah.